They were two young boys in their mid-teens who lived in a community in a far, far away place. They had different destinies in life. One would become king of the tribe. The other would be a farmer, as his father was a farmer and his ancestors had been farmers for years and years. But the two of them had met and they got to know each other. They became friends. They became best friends. And the would-be king, what he loved most about his playmate, the guy he would go hunting with and riding with, is that this guy had the most amazing habit. It didn't matter what happened, his friend would always say, "This is good, this is really good." It didn't matter what happened, he would say, "This is good, this is really good." And then one day, they were off, now they're grown up. One is the king and one's now an adult farmer. They're in their 20s, late 20s. And they go hunting that day. And the king is about to fire his rifle that his friend has loaded, and he's about to fire it at some game. And when he fires it, it backfires and blows his thumb off. And the king is jumping up and down in great pain and dismay and just so upset. And the friend walks up and the friend does what the friend always does. He says, "This is good. This is really good." And the king is in no place to be amused by that friend that day. And he turns to his guards and he says, "Take him. I'm sick and tired of that. Take him to the deepest part of the jungle and lock him up." And so they do. They take him. They go all the way down into the deepest part of the jail, and they lock him up. And so a year goes by. And a year later, the king is out with his guards and he's hunting. He gets away from his guards and out deep, deep, deep into the forest, where he is captured by a group of cannibals. The cannibals capture him. He's defenseless without his guards. They take him, they bind him, and they put him at a stake, and they're bringing firewood at his feet to cook him, to have him for their meal that day. When all of a sudden one of them notices that the king doesn't have a thumb. They are a superstitious group of cannibals, and they never eat a body that is not whole. So they unbind him and they release him and send him on his way. He comes back and his guards are frantically trying to find him. They find him, and all of a sudden the young king goes, "Oh my gosh, a year ago my friend told me it was good that my thumb had been blown off. I did not believe him. I've had him for a year in the dungeon. Take me personally. I will go in and release him myself." They take him back to the castle. They go down into the dungeon, down into the deeper parts of the dungeon. And then the king unlocks the door, and there is the friend sitting up against the wall, chained to the wall. He only gets unlocked a few times a day, 3 times a day, to have some little thing to eat. And the king gets down and he says, "Oh my gosh, I am so sorry I put you here. A year ago you told me it was good that I lost my thumb. It was a good thing. I couldn't possibly believe you, but today I got away from my guards. I got way into the forest. I was captured by a group of cannibals. They grabbed me, they bound me, they were going to eat me, when one of them noticed that I didn't have a thumb, and they're superstitious. They wouldn't eat a body that wasn't whole, and they hold it, and they released me. It was so bad of me to lock you up. I am so sorry I did that." And the friend did what the friend always did. He said what he always says. "No, it was good that you locked me up. It was good that I've been here for a year." And the king goes, "I don't understand you. How could it possibly be good that you've been locked up in a dungeon for a year? How could that be good?" And the friend says, "Well, because if I hadn't been here, I would have been with you." And I love that story, because there is always another way to see things. And it's in no way funny what we're looking at. On the other hand, it's important to keep a good sense of humor going while we go through this, so that we can have the circumstance without the circumstance having us. This is good. This is really good. Sometimes it feels like blow your thumb off good at the time it's happening. But if you still look for the good, you're going to find some.